Hello team. Today we're going to conduct a narrative analysis about an uh-oh moment and talk about strategies to prevent you from being in this situation. We will apply a communication theory from Peter Ludwig Berger, who provides a social constructionist perspective to communications and to social science. We will see how communication between an organization and its publics is a sense-making process where the social reality is constructed, and how your understanding of this can help guide you and prevent you from creating a potential crisis. So here's the scenario that we're going to discuss today. You are a writer for a very large company and you support a line of business. The line of business has a person that is their liaison to you, and they contact you when they need something written for them. It could be a letter or an email to a customer, any type of written communication to a customer. The person created a formal request and you are assigned the job. So after a few emails back and forth, the person asks you for additional information and a question, and you don't fully understand the question. So you reply, "I'm not sure. You created the request. I'm just here to write your communication for you." Ask yourself a few questions about this reply. So first of all, who is the sender of this communication? Is this sender in a place to reply like this? So for example, is the sender an executive working on a high-profile project and communicating to a subordinate? Even if that is the situation, ask yourself this: is this still an appropriate and professional way to reply to someone where it is your job to support her? Who is the receiver of this communication? Is the receiver someone higher up in the organizational hierarchy? Or are they on a parallel scale to you? Or are they lower to you on the hierarchy? Even if, say, you are a manager and this person is parallel or lower than you, is this still an appropriate and professional way to reply to someone when it is your job to support her? What are the different ways this reply could be interpreted? And what are the consequences of these potentially different interpretations? Is there any chance whatsoever that this could be interpreted as aggressive, rude, or unprofessional? If so, could this person contact your manager and/or your team leader and express her opinions on how you replied? And could there be any disciplinary actions as a result of you sending this reply? So, in this particular example, the sender of the email was in fact lower than the receiver, and the receiver happened to know the team manager quite well. Now further, she interpreted the reply as extremely aggressive and rude and expressed her frustration to the team manager, who agreed that the reply was highly inappropriate and unprofessional, and as a result, the sender was formally disciplined. Now, a strategy to take in a future situation like this, where maybe you don't understand a question or you don't understand a request, is to think long and hard before replying in a way that has any remote possibility of being interpreted in a negative way, and in a way that can get you in trouble. I suggest that you subscribe to what Berger referred to as the debunking motif, which states, in part, to be conscious of the different levels of meaning in human events of which people often are not aware. Now, just because you or you have heard of others receiving emails like this or sending emails like this absolutely does not make it appropriate for you to reply to an email in this fashion. You may not fully understand the sender and the receiver relationship in these examples that you've heard of other people sending or receiving these emails. Or you may not have realized that others were in fact offended when they received a reply like this. And nor is it ever, in my opinion, appropriate to subscribe to a logic that this is how people communicate in a corporate setting. That's just not appropriate. It's not an excuse. Well, everyone else does it. That's not acceptable, in my opinion. Berger, who we see on the screen here, also stated that reality is socially constructed. And I believe you should work every day in every interaction to construct a reality of competence and professionalism with your team and your stakeholders every single time. So in conclusion, we've discussed an uh-oh moment and described how to avoid this scenario through the lens of communication theorist Peter Berger. We discussed the sender-receiver relationship and how a narrative could potentially be interpreted and the consequences of said potential interpretation. Finally, we've established that it is never, ever in your best interest to communicate in a way that is so open for interpretation as the example that we've discussed today, especially if there is any potential whatsoever for a negative interpretation of your message to be extracted. Thank you for watching today. I look forward to your feedback, and I hope that you found this presentation helpful. Thank you.